You know, I remember years ago, many years ago, we were going through one of the recessions, and people told me, they say, buy Wrigley chewing gum because people chew more gum in recessions than they do in the good times. So, you
Yeah.
know, that's cutting an edge, but it's probably a little true. Maybe people drink more. I don't know, but
Yeah, well, there are a lot of trends like that, and a lot
yeah,
of these companies now, brokerage firms that offer these tools, give you a lot of that, and it's fascinating. It's fun.
yeah.
You're dealing with, again, economics. You pull this string, and a lot of that is ever changing. It's very hard
Mhm.
to know, but you can do some research and some things. I mean, you think about Home Depot and Lowe's being up during this pandemic. Well, that makes sense. If you'd have looked at that, people are going to stay home. We didn't know how long the trend was going to be.
Yeah.
That one made a little more sense because people are home, they got time. They're going to do a few
Yeah.
projects.
It was interesting because Home Depot, since it's here in Atlanta, was they're not hiring, they're not trying to get more customers
Right.
because they can't physically keep them separated
Yeah.
and you know to have them in the store. So for the first time they're saying, well, we want more business, but we don't want more people.
That's right. that can happen.
Yeah.
I think it's good to always find a way for somebody that's looking to invest. Find a way to start doing some research on your own. Even if you have your 401k and your IRA, maintain those and keep those. And we're big advocates. But there's so many great tools now. Do some research and begin to read on some of these things, because some of those trends you can see and you can invest in and you can do well with, if you know what you're doing and how to do it. Rarely does any of the top money managers in the world, the people who follow these trends, just go attack a stock.
Yeah.
That's not how it's done. And I wanted to caution for somebody that goes, this looks like it's the next Google, all the research, I'm going to just throw all in on this, is not the way to do it. Most of them do what's called nibbling. That is a term we use in finance, and they nibble on a stock on its way down and they nibble on the way up. They're just kind of buying it, watching it as it's moving. They don't go, this looks great, and throw everything at it, because there's just no way of knowing if there's going to be a downturn or if it's going to take up. But we would all love it to just go up. But nibbling, just if you see something and you just buy a little bit of it and you buy a little bit of it, as it's moving, it gives you a better protection. So
And also, people, or the sophistication of some of these large funds, like you're speaking of, they have portfolio people who watch just 20 stocks
that's
continuously.
right.
They,
That's right.
they watch those and they become very familiar with them. It may be in a particular area of like finance, banking,
Yeah.
maybe in the area of food, it may be in the industrial stocks, which would be utilities and so forth. But they watch those 50 stocks or 25 to 50 stocks, depending, to know how they're changing. So when they go to the portfolio manager, they've already been watching it for 6 months or a year.
They have a very high level of sophistication and
Yeah.
tools and algorithms that are implemented in watching and maintaining it. And that's very different from, they're not doing what people often think or ask me about. They're not looking at a trend in the sense of, this is going to happen. They're going to go. There's always a mathematical formula. There's always some
Yeah.
science behind that. There's no gurus that I know of that just follow their gut and there's a science behind it. You have to maintain that science and that discipline. That's what dollar cost averaging, as I mentioned earlier. It's a scientific approach. It's a method of just buying stock when it's going down, buying stock when it's going up, buying it when it's going down, because you get a better price per share in the end than if you're
Yeah.
trying to time the market. Because as I always tell people, if you time the market, you have to do it twice. If you get out, you got to get back in. So you're not timing it once, you're timing it twice, and that's almost impossible to do. It's not a way to build your portfolio. And so you have to remember that you've got to maintain those disciplines with any type of investing that you do. You've got to have discipline. Do not follow your emotion, because it'll lead you astray. It leads all of us. It tricks all of us. And so you cannot do that.